Okay, great. So we are on. Welcome. We're a couple minutes late. That's how it works in this new world. So we are on, and we very much welcome, big welcome to everyone who's joined us here for the CEE Business Service Center's Executive Roundtables. And this is a 3.5 hour sessions targeted for shared service center directors across the Central European region. We've got a great day planned and looking forward to it very much. I'm happy to be here in Warsaw in the office of Wolves Digital with their team here helping us get things moving. And I want to say a couple of things about, first of all, the schedule. So we are going to have about 20 minutes with me and Romek Lubaczewski. In a few minutes will join me. Then we will break into 3 different roundtable sessions, and you have your choice of one of those 3. That will last for 1 hour. Then we shift to the second choice of roundtables the next hour. Then we have the third choice, another 3 roundtable discussions. You can jump in and out of whatever you like. And we finish up the day with a couple of closing comments from Elias van Herwaarden from Colliers, and looking for a very good day. So the concept of this whole concept was, the idea here is that many of you as Central European BSC executives are not necessarily talking among yourselves cross-market. Yes, you might be talking to your closest friends in your city, et cetera, but it's unlikely, we think, that many of you from Vilnius are speaking to your colleagues in Bucharest, or the Budapest guys are speaking to the colleagues in Wrocław. So this platform is meant to help you talk to each other. It's a peer-to-peer conversation. It is closed except for BSC executive directors. We have 67 of you signed up. I expected 50, so more than we expected. So we're pleased about that. Again, it is a closed door conversation, and we have chosen 9 topics that we think are relevant to you as a BSC director in the region. A couple of housekeeping things. First of all, we're on the Hopin platform. Hope that you are too. If you're listening to me, you are. And the way this platform works, if you're not familiar with it, it's a pretty damn good platform. We think one of the better ones, and one of the key good things about it, or assets about it, is that you're able to interact with one-to-one meetings. So as we have here, this is the so-called main stage. We'll jump to the individual roundtables. In the meantime, you're able to find someone that's at the event. In the top right of your screen, you'll see the list of people that are here today. You're able to click on that person, invite them to a direct one-on-one video meeting. You're also able to schedule a meeting with that person for later in the afternoon. That's a new feature on Hopin very recently. Furthermore, there's a networking button bottom left of your screen that is a way to have a random networking if you just simply choose to do that. I think that's a 3 or 4 minute rotating networking. Very nice feature as well. We also have booths. So at the bottom left of your screen, it says Expo, and that is where we have 5 or 6 or 7 of the booths, so-called exhibition booths within the Hopin platform. Go to those, look at the videos, meet those guys. That can be also interesting. Also, 1 hour before the event opened this morning, we sent to you got an email reminder. All of you got an email reminder for this event. Also attached to that was a PDF with a list of all of the names of companies and people that are here today. So don't disregard entirely that PDF. You might find it useful at a later stage to keep. And the last point I'll add, that we have added some polls, and we've added some fun polls about office environment, about work from home environment, issues related to motivation of your staff, events coming up in the future, even about inoculation questions. So do take a minute to look at the polls in the top right of this stage and fill in your questions there. So anyway, we also want feedback and comments. So I'm looking forward to your feedback and suggestions after this event. But let us now see if we've got Romek, I think, is about on stage. Rosie, if we can get Romek on stage, and we'll get started.
Hey, Tom.
Right on cue. Good, Romek. How you doing?
Fantastic. Very good indeed. Nice wearing a shirt.
Yes, not in your pajamas.
No, they're not pajamas. Actually, yeah, striking. They do look a bit pajama-ish.
Are you in Krakow?
I'm in the office of all places. Yeah, fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. But you're not working from the office most of the time, are you?
No, I come in. I'm now decided to come in one day a week, but I'll be honest, for 3 months I didn't come in at all.
Yes. Good. Well, thanks for joining us today, and
Cool.
pleased to have you kick off the day. And thought it'd be fun. We, on purpose, didn't practice this very much. I figure you and I can get along pretty well and have to improvise a bit in this conversation. But I also wanted to ask you if you can kind of intro a little bit the 8 or 9 sessions that we've got, and tell us a bit about what we can look forward to during the day.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, unfortunately, I couldn't hear you before, so I'm not sure if you introduced me. So, my name is Romek Lubaczewski. I work at PwC, and I've been 25 years in the industry, shared services and outsourcing. That's history. Let's talk about now. Very strange 10 months. Yeah, I'm probably the oldest person on the call. I know I look a lot younger than Tom. Younger, but in fact, I am technically much older than him. But this is, without a doubt, the weirdest 10 months of my life, professionally, life as well. Unique, different, quite a lot of unknowns, and to be honest, many unknowns ahead of us. That's the bit I think that's makes it all a bit hard and a bit complex and sometimes a bit worrying. Is just up until now we haven't really felt that there's an end. I'm missing personally, and on a personal front, I miss traveling. Not for the travel bit, but partly to escape my home, just to not be in my house. That's one. The other one is to see clients and actually see them face to face, and my team. I miss my team immensely. I really do miss not being in the room with the guys, having a joke, a laugh, and a cup of tea and lunch and things like that. I really miss it. The only thing, and I've had a few bad days, but the only thing that's kind of perked me up recently and keeps me going is I truly and honestly believe that there is light at the end of the tunnel. I think that we are months, not years away from coming back to normal. But it's going to be a new normal. I guess that's my big thing, is that the normal as all of us remember a year ago, I don't think we're ever going to get that again, ever. So we're going to have a new normal. So what it was, what it is now, and where we're going, they're 3 very different things. So
what does the new normal look like?
I don't know, and to be honest,
you're supposed to know the answer. That's why you're on the stage here. Tell us.
No. That's why I'm introducing everyone else, because I actually think that the topics we've got are as much about the future as they are the present. So there's a real lovely mix of issues we got now, and also issues that we're going to face coming forward ahead of us, that if we think through thoughtfully now and drive forward on them, that we're going to be ahead of the game and smarter and brighter and everything. So, the fact that there's light at the end of the tunnel means we now need to put a new hat on. So old school of sitting at home and never leaving is one. We've got to take it off and start thinking about, we're going to be back in the office. We're going to be back at clients. We're going to be back together again, but not like it was a year ago. That's for sure. So let me talk about the topics a bit. And this is very strange because I love Tom, and I really do. He's a lovely chap. But when he gave me the 9 topics, I was expecting to go, Tom, I don't really like that one. And I have done this before many times to him and told him that I didn't like some of his topics. But this time round, I have to say, every one of the topics has come up in the last 10 months for me. Some further away in time-wise and some very current. But for me, they are 9 super duper topics. So well done to you, Tom, for finding topics that are actually really relevant. And I hope everyone else finds the same. What I wanted to do, Tom, for like 5, 6, 7 minutes is just actually talk about each one, just to give everyone a little bit of a flavor of what they are. Now, I'm not going to say anything about what people are going to talk about, because I have no idea what they're going to talk about. I'm going to give you my view of the topic, and let's just hope that they cross over. Let me start with one of the biggest ones, without a doubt, process automation. It's been on all of our agendas for 5 years, top of the agenda, and to be honest, I think it's probably grown on the agenda rather than detracted. Definitely the word digital is coming up absolutely everywhere. This is growing and growing as a driver for our business in terms of next steps, efficiency, and loads of articles about RPA, automation, and technology being turbo driven in the back office. That's a phrase I've seen a few times, turbo driven. Love it. If I could just give a little bit of put some sunglasses in and see it without the sunlight, I think there's a little bit too much focus on the RPA side. I think it's gone beyond that now. I think it's about machine learning, things like AI, chatbots. You know, they're a real fantastic tool. But the one that I worked with a client recently on that I think has got left behind and is for me one of the big ones is around self-service. That's automation. It's not as sexy as RPA, but if you can get the clients to do the work, you don't need anyone. Yeah, and you don't need to run anything. So for me, self-service is definitely a part of automation that I think is the big one. So there's a great topic in total, automation, process automation, coming up there later today. Continuing with digital, the second group, I've literally got 2 clients I'm working on right now with SAP SAP for HANA implementations going on live and the shared services impact around that. So I'm very close to it. And I have a third client that's on the plan. So the SAP for HANA, super topical. So we've got some session on that, help with making the whole implementation and using SAP more efficiently, easy to use, and maybe automate even more than we thought we could do. So a really great topic, and I'm looking forward to Tim there, really taking us through that, some insights into digital transformation tactics for SAP. So very topical for anyone who's got SAP on their agendas. Grouped a couple of the sessions together around COVID, because I think they're very COVID driven. Let me kick off with the first one. The topic's going to be onboarding. It's really a tricky one because I don't do onboarding, so it's kind of a bit foreign to me from the sense of do I do it. But when I saw it on the list, I realised that when you onboard staff, and we continue to onboard, and in our industry, we're probably onboarding more than we did before COVID. So it's, if anything, it's a bigger part of the jigsaw puzzle. But I was just thinking, you know, we onboard someone, we probably haven't met them in interview. We're probably not going to meet them in the onboarding, and there's a chance we don't actually meet them in the next 6 months. I mean, meet face to face. Yeah, how weird is that? And then I started thinking, how important is the onboarding session to get the new person to feel the culture of your company and to get a feel for what you're all about, not you as an individual, but you, the business. And so we've got Claudia running a session to give us some tips and tricks on that topic. And I think that's in a way, if you get onboarding wrong, it's all downhill. So you've got to get onboarding right. That would be my thing there. So that's a great session to have. Next topic, got to be on absolutely everyone's agenda. Everyone, office space. What do I really need? Isn't that a question? And I see this. I've been working with the PwC office, one of our offices, to reassess what space do we need in the new office. And there's 2 elements here. Number one is, how many are we growing or shrinking? You have to make an assessment in the next 12, 24, 36 months. Are we going to grow or decrease in FTEs? First question. And I actually think in our industry, many of us are going to be growing, which is fantastic. So I've got 500 people. I'm going to be planning 600. First part of the equation. Second part of the equation is, how many seats do I need per FTE? It's a ratio, yeah? Before, most of us had 1-to-1. In India, you could have 3-to-1 as much as, 3 shifts. us in our part of the world, 1-to-1. I have my seat, I go and sit in my seat, and that's it mostly. Massive question for us now is that I don't think in the new world we need 500 people, 500 desks. I just don't think we're going to go ever back to everyone going to the office. And then the third element for me comes in then is, COVID finishes 1st of July, everyone can go back to work. Are we going to see 490 people all turn up for work, or 90? I have no idea. No one has a clue. No one. Is it going to be mass or trickle back? And so that whole thing around office space is not what office are you going in, well, not what's the rent you're paying, how bloody big is the office? Yeah, how many seats do I need? It's massive. It's a super topic, and everyone is going to have that this year, next year, and the next 3 years. You're going to be facing that question.
Let me ask you about that on the offices, because I hear mixed messages, and some of the developers I speak to are they remain pretty optimistic that it's going to come back, not going to reduce a lot of the office space, that maybe going to increase the percentage, the amount of square meters per person, so that the overall space may not be decreased. Yet then kind of talking to SSCs, it's like, again, we're going to need, just like you just said, we're going to need 20% less space, maybe it's 16% less space. Isn't there a big reckoning coming for the office space developers?
Yeah, I agree, Tom. I do. And so it's a great time to be at least a great time to go in and challenge these guys. Unfortunately, the guy running the session represents one of the leasing companies. So it's if I had an empty building, it's actually a great time. It's when you've got a full building, will it be full in the future? Has got to be the big question. Yeah.
One of the points they talk about today is the idea of kind of office parks and bigger spread out as opposed to high rises. That's one of the topics that they're talking about today. So, okay, but let's go on next.
It's a great topic. Really, everyone's going to face it. So back to people. Next topic we've got, great one. How to maintain team spirit. Yeah. For us, some of us, it's all about how to build a team, how to build that spirit within it. Because we don't interact every day anymore, right now and in the foreseeable future, every day we have to really be thinking about, I think, two things, and they're completely contrary. One is, as we go on longer, we've got to actually work out, if people are going to work more from home, how do we ensure they're working? And I'm going to be paying their salary. How do I know they're actually working? And that's, I think, challenge and direction number one. And it's a really interesting one. And then the other part of that, literally the reverse, is how do we maintain contact with all of our staff to ensure they're not in trouble? And I think with the people on the call, many of you, and we've experienced this, is we've got people who are quite young, live alone, and I've had 10 months stuck in their, 42 square meter apartment. And I think it's very hard. It's hard for me. And I've got my wife at home, so I'm never alone. And I have that, and it's great. But if I was alone, some days I wish I was. But to be honest, long term, it's not great. And I think there's the challenge when I think about team spirit. It's not about everyone, climbing Mount Everest. Do you know what I think about now? I think it's about making sure all of our guys are okay. That for me is the big one, yeah. And Tom, you're running that session, so anything you want to add on that?
No, I think okay. Just it's hot subject for sure, and I'm going to be keen to ask the SSC directors what they're doing as opposed to preaching from them. So I'm just going to ask the questions.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah. So we've got two more. We got process mining and $1 million idea. Excuse me, three more.
Yeah.
You're running the $10 million ideas, and the concept there, Romek, was to kind of pool out and draw out some of the ideas that are siloed inside the SSCs, and there must be wonderful ideas out there of how to save 3% on a $100 million process. It's big money. Save 17%. So there are ideas out there, and we want to encourage people to share those ideas as much as possible, because in reality, the shared service centers in the region are not really competing with themselves directly in terms of the financial results, right?
Yeah.
So talk about that, if you would, Romek.
Yeah. Well, thanks. You just said everything. I can't think of much more to say. That's a lot, buddy. Look, the good news, I reckon, is I'm running the session. The bad news is I've only got 3 ideas. Whoever's joining my session, if you come with no ideas or crap ideas, I'm going to throw you. I don't know if I can throw you off the thing, but I will. So I need people to come with some good sharing ideas. I'm going to share 3, and I reckon we can come with 5 or 6 and share them back with the bigger group, and that would be great.
Great. Let me jump in and say a little housekeeping, how it's going to work. These sessions, by the way, the roundtables. We are very much encouraging you to place yourself on the screen. And when you join the roundtable, you will be prompted to say, share your screen, which will then place you into the call, if you will, kind of like a Zoom call. But we really want you to do it. We don't really want people to observe quietly, sit there anonymously. Please join the session. This is a roundtable discussion. It's a peer-to-peer discussion. And we're going to kind of badger you and shame you if you're not going to join and physically see you on screen. So that's for all the sessions. We want you to participate. This is not a one-way webinar. It's a conversation.
Yeah.
Next one. Let me go. Process mining.
Yeah. Process and data mining. Right. On this one, I've been lucky enough in the last months to be running 2 projects in this space. And I have to say that as often as I've gained clarity and had like one of those aha moments, 15 times, I've had 15 times that I've gone, what? And It's a strange one, and let me explain. Data mining tools allow us to dive deeper and deeper into transactions and processing events. That's what they do. Fantastic. They give us outcomes highlighting clear process inefficiencies, where it's done, who's doing it, how many exceptions there are, all of this. For me, the problem becomes a little bit is that you can just keep diving deeper and deeper and deeper. And then you get the answer at the end, and I'm not sure the answer actually means that much. Because it's so interesting, there's a tendency just to keep going. And for me, the key question in this space is around how and when do you use data mining effectively, driving outcomes, and not more information. So if you start with data mining saying, I need more info, I reckon you're going down a blind alley. I reckon you've got to start with, how do you use the outcomes or how do you use data mining to drive outcomes? And I think if you can start with that as a topic, that's a great one. So that's later on. And then, right, the last topic, well, pre-last, one of my favorites, where to locate my center. And here we have Elias, the world's #1 guy on this topic, to share with us what has changed in this space. I guess there's a couple of questions here before you even go, where do you put it? You've got to ask yourself first the question, do we need a center? Can we all work from home? Can home be anywhere in the world and the center just be a central virtual meeting point? So, you know, you're in Las Vegas. I mean, I know I'm in Las Vegas. You can be somewhere else. You're in Tel Aviv, and Elias is in Holland. And can we be a team? Theoretically, yeah. I think that's a doable thing. I don't like it. I have to share with everyone. I don't like this whole idea that we're going to remain virtual and the team will be virtual and we never meet. I personally think getting together physically in the room, being together, is part of team success, and therefore I think the efficiency drives from that.
Okay.
And so, has the location dead? I do not believe so. What I think is a massive question to Elias is, where will it be now? Is it somewhere completely different because of COVID? That bit I don't know. So, great topic that Elias will run this afternoon.
So let's stop there. So that's a good segue into the next sessions, because I want to stay on time, and we will now ask each of you. Romek, thanks a lot, very much.
Thanks a lot.
Warm up the session.
Thank you, everyone.
And we're now going to ask you, each of you, to jump into one of the 3 roundtables. The first one, of course, is digital transformation, SAP, location selection, and team building tips. So I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to jump into the team building tips roundtable. Make your choice. See you in one of the roundtables. Put yourself on the screen, please. And we're going to now go the next 3 hours and move back on the main screen in 3 hours. Enjoy the day.
Have a good day, guys. Bye.
Good.